welcome to the first day session on a 9-day mission. 9-day mission for class 11 beginners. Just appeared class 10. They are supposed to relax for a while, but still they are passionately busy to learn something and to continue their passion for learning science. Welcome, Sibdat. So we'll be starting in a minute. Welcome, Dilip Singh from YouTube. Those who are watching directly from the YouTube, good morning to you all. And we were starting today the 9-day foundation chemistry program for the beginners 11 who are aspirants. When I say aspirants, I mean NEET or JEE, which includes entry into basic science courses leading to high-level research like Niger, like ISER, like other institutes of similar stature. So for them, for those students, learning is a fun, is a celebration. It's not that you have just now finished your board examination, you need a break of 7 days outing. Yeah, if your parents fix up an outing program for 10 days, that's fine. You join your parents to have a tour, to have a trip. But if you are at home, then learning comes spontaneously. You need not have to pressurize your mind to sit in a class. Of course, this is not always the case. Sometimes we feel monotonous. I'm sorry to say, to study science when the dissemination, the deliberation from the instructor sometimes becomes monotonous. And that has been the case because we guys are all competitive minded and we do not much bother to learn the fundamentals, the basics, the concepts, rather than to know how to apply some principles, some equations, some theorems, and solve problems so that we gain confidence to secure good percentile in JEE or NEET and get a good position. So what I used to say in the beginning, that you have to sustain your passion, your irresistible thirst, hunger to learn science. These 2 years are crucial, but that doesn't mean that you shoulder a great responsibility, anxiety, burden of becoming a doctor. So you just throw out that burden from your shoulder. Enjoy the learning process. Wherever, from whomever you find that the learning is enjoyable, you stick to that. Stick to that program. Of course, should not compromise with the proceedings of the syllabus and the deadline, the timeline with which we have to complete the program, end the program, and revise. That should not be thrown away. That should remain at your back end. But learning should be fun. With this much, we start the first day. While I derive immense pleasure that many of you were with me for the last maybe 3 years for the knowledge of Ansulima, who is with me for the first time. And I take the pride to be with Ansulima, who is the daughter of one of my very good acquaintances. It's like my son, Professor Biswal, Himanshu Biswal, from the great reputed institute, Niger, Bhubaneswar. Uh, and all others who have joined in the Zoom are my already existing guys for the last 3 years. Sarthak has joined now. Better late than never. Pranam. Well, in this class, I will be talking in English and sometimes in Hindi. Though my Hindi is not as natural as other languages like English and Odia, but I will, because it will be a program for all. Anybody from India. India. I can't say word because sometimes I'll be coming down to Hindi, then that portion will be really not comprehensible. Now, Sister Subhadra has joined. Sister, you are late. Now, let me tell you, before we start on Sulima, I am dead sure, 101% sure, when I am enjoying every moment of my sharing joys with you, my experience with you, and there will be every reason why you will be feeling, as we continue to sit more and more, you will also feel the same. That is my conviction. And I will not give you any pressure, only for fun. We have a small little syllabus, program for this 9-day program. So we have a plan. Today, we will be proceeding this much. I'll be providing 3 files. Section 1, Section 2, already I have given you in the group. And Section 3, I will give you just after the class. And those are already available in the description box of my YouTube channel. Some of you will definitely want to revise this discussion from YouTube once again, because it is already live streamed now, and anytime you want, you can get that link I have already given you. You can revise, because some of you might find little fast, because those who were with me, they will be comfortable with what will be going on, because most of today's program will be a revision exercise, most, not all. So, but you have already forgotten 101% for sure. So I'm sure you will be also finding these to revise with all interest. Good morning, Arman. Better late than never. Good morning, Prasanna Biswal. If some of you are in the name of your parents, please rename, change your name, because there is an option in Zoom to change your name. So that, sometimes I used to call the name of a student's father because he or she doesn't change. So that seems really weird for me and for you also. Okay, let me stop this dung dung ding dung. This. So many of you have given me good morning, Arman, Prabhu, and many of you in the Digvijay. Yes. So let me turn off this WhatsApp. Okay. Then let me share my screen. In the chat box, oh, only Ansulima's message is there, which is already sorted out. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to day one. It's a 9-day foundation chemistry classes. I'm Sudhanshu Tripathi, and I lead an organization called the Uranium. As you know, many of you know, the objective of our organization is to popularize chemical science, chemistry, and allied sciences, because nowadays the borderline between sciences are thinning and thinning. So we can trespass to some areas of physics. Please don't write in my screen, otherwise it will be difficult. I have disabled. I usually don't disable annotation from participants, because I ask someone like Ansulima, like Prabhu Sarati, or XYZ to write on the screen to convince me that you have understood. Yeah, Digvijay, so you can change your name to Digvijay instead of your father's name, Dilip Singh. Okay. This has to be stopped. All disturbing sounds should be stopped. Okay. Let me first ask you, the formula writing is the first thing that you have to converse yourself. Not only with simple radicals. When I say radical, I really mean a part of a compound having positive ion and negative ion. I'm talking of an ionic compound which is made up of two ions, positive and negative. So there, the old term radical is still being used. Actually, they are ions. So to write formula, when I say formula, many of you know I have already discussed, but I'll be doing formally everything today for the benefit of the newcomers. When we say formula, there are two types of formula. One is what we normally say formula. We mean empirical formula. And that is the simple whole number ratio. Between many things I will not write, because I will be giving you the file. Between the positive ion, negative ion, or between atoms. But mostly the empirical formula word term is used for ionic compounds. The formula that we say for ionic compounds like sodium sulfate, like aluminum chloride, like potassium ferrocyanide. All these are empirical formula. What is empirical formula? It gives you the simplest whole number, not simple, simplest, simplest whole number ratio between the positive ion and negative ion. Because later you know that ionic compounds, they do not exist as molecules, isolated, independent molecules. Like the covalent compounds like CO2, ammonia, water, these remain independent. Molecules are those species which can exist independently. In a very funny sense, I can tell you that you just hold a spatula on your hand and just grab the neck of carbon dioxide, and you can isolate from a group of carbon dioxide molecules, hovering or flying in a gaseous system from one place to the other. You can catch hold of one CO2 and, hey, come with me. So they are independent of each other. Such compounds are covalent compounds. So for them, you use the word molecular formula. And this is for only covalent compounds. Covalent substances. Let us write covalent substances, which includes elementary covalent substances like N2, O2, O3, S8, P4. This contains only one element, but there is covalent bond between atoms. So they exist as independent molecules, and these are molecular formula. And of course CO2, of course ammonia, of course H2SO4, and so on. But there can be also empirical formula for them, some of them, like a big molecule, like say C6H12O6, our glucose, fructose, mannose, all these monosaccharides. This is glucose. We can simplify the number of atoms, CH2O. So this is the empirical formula and this is the molecular formula. So many of the organic molecules, they have also empirical formula. But all ionic compounds are represented by their empirical formula because ionic solid has a gigantic network. It's a network solid. You cannot independently, catch hold of the neck of sodium ion or chloride ion, it will come out. No. All others will cry and bite you. Because each sodium ion is surrounded by, six chloride ions and vice versa, and it form a gigantic network. Oh, well, when we dissolve sodium chloride in water, then they will be separated. Na plus Cl minus, the lattice will crumble, the lattice will break, and individually the ions get separated and they swim. Of course, not in a very weird sense as naked ions, but they are surrounded by water molecules. They are hydrated, they are solvated, they are inside the cage of water molecules, which hold them by ion dipole interaction, but doesn't prevent the ion to move from one place to the other and conduct electricity if a PD. What is PD? Prabhu, what is PD? What is PD? Who can say? Yes, Prabhu?
No idea, sir.
Yes, Arsulima? A PD is applied. These solutions of ionic compounds like sodium chloride solution, use table salt, dissolve in water. It will immediately dissolve. Na plus will be separated. Chloride ion will be separated. They are no longer now ionic solid. It is aqueous, solvated. They are hydrated. Each ion will be surrounded by a lot of water molecules. Say Na plus, it will be surrounded by water molecules on all side, all side, all side. Like OHH. O has a negative pole. We'll be doing that later. And there are many water molecules which will surround each sodium ion and put it inside just like a jail, a cage. So these interactions, these interactions are called the ion dipole interaction. That will stabilize sodium ion but doesn't prevent its motion from one place to the other inside aqueous solution. So it is mobile. And once you put a PD in that aqueous solution, it will do something. You will like observe some phenomenon. What is that PD and what is that phenomenon? Anybody? Ansulima, are you active or dozing? What is PD? Anyone? Arman? Try. You may fail. Here you have the advantage of talking to me, asking your question. I can clear your doubts. So that is the advantage here. Subhadra, Nirmalandu, yes? Anyone? When you apply a PD and I'm also acting, my action is also there to support your answer, then a phenomenon happens. Yes, Ansulima, you can just guess. Are you still there?
Sir, would it be potential difference?
Yes, yes. If you apply a potential difference, means battery. You connect it to the battery, a DC battery, direct current battery, simply battery, and put anode and cathode inside sodium chloride solution or any ionic compound which is dissolved in water. You will find if you put a small little LED, and nowadays LED bulbs are available, a small little bulb will be connected in that circuit, you will find it will glow. That means that solution will conduct electricity due to the motion of ions, not free electrons. But does that happen when you insert anode, cathode, and battery is there to sodium chloride solid? Suppose you take a large piece of sodium chloride crystal or a bunch of sodium chloride table salt, and on one point you dip anode and the other point you dip cathode separated. So will you find the bulb still glows? No, 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 no. Solid state, the ions are compact, they are static. They are static at their mean position. They are static at their mean position. Oh, there might be a little vibration according to temperature, but they are static. They don't move to conduct electricity. But later on, you will find there can be a possibility when there will be a lot of defects in the ionic crystal. So there might be a little conduction of electricity. Some of you might be thinking, or some guys who already know, maybe your brothers or sisters will be watching. They might be thinking, oh, ionic solid doesn't conduct electricity. What sir said, it does, but not for you now. Only when it is filled with a lot of defects, lot of empty spaces, holes, then ions can slip from one hole to the other and can conduct electricity, not to this extent. So to a very small extent. We forget about that now. So after having told this is called hydration, in general we call it solvation, solvent. Molecules are, they form a cage inside which each ion is jailed but moves from one place to the other. Now, in covalent molecules, they remain independently as molecules, but these NaCl, AlCl3, whatever, these are not called molecules. By mistake, we call them sodium chloride molecule. No, these are empirical formula units. Empirical formula units. But there is a very, very famous Hindi song. यही उम्र है कर ले गलती से मिस्टेक. So often in science we make galti se mistake and continue to use it. From time immemorial we have been using that the direction of current is opposite to the direction of electron flow, and this galti se mistake is being perpetuated from time immemorial because there is no way out. All the Fleming's rule and all the rules of physics have been already established, taking the direction of current opposite to the direction of electron flow. So that will continue. So sodium chloride, aluminum chloride, sometimes we call molecule, but actually they are not molecules. Molecule by definition independently exist, but these guys that do not independently exist as a single yes, you can say formula unit, a unit. Okay, with this much of, let me check. Can you write down the formula of these? And don't feel really embarrassed. Yeah, I'm asking you to write the formula. Yes, I have in my course. I have a package. How you will be confident, thorough in that particular basic concepts, leading you to solve problems on advanced stoichiometry. Advanced stoichiometry. Yes, you can do it. Ferric sulfate, potassium ferrocyanide. When I say ferric sulfate, I really mean now nobody is saying ferric ferrous iron 3. And in American English, it is SCUL FAT. PH is replaced by F. Because in stock notation, if some of you do not know, the latest stock notation has already abandoned the use of us, ik, ferrous, ferric, mercurous, mercuric, cuprous, cupric. So those us, ik, they are abandoned totally. Because Ansulima, scientists had later found that a particular element can exist in more than two oxidation states, valencies. So how we only use OSIC? For example, manganese can remain in +2, +3, +4, +6, +7. So who will take the os and who will take the ic? Earlier times, only two ferrous, ferric, cuprous, cupric, only two oxidation states were known. Therefore, they were content with os and ic. The lower is os, the higher is ic. So such a concept has been redundant now, is replaced by stock notation. Very that has been easy for the students. Why? Because you don't use the Latin word ferrous, ferric, from the original term ferrum, and use the English word iron 3. Ic is 3, so this 3 will let the students know that the oxidation state or valence is +3. Iron 3 sulfate. You write down the formula. Copper 1, that we used to call cuprous. Copper 1 thiosulfate. Or let me be American. Merc lead 4 oxide. This much you write down. Not much. We have a program because we have already in the introductory discussion, we have already, I can't say wasted, we have already consumed 30 minutes. Raise your hands. There is a yellow hand to raise in your Zoom app, you can show me that you have already finished. These potassium ferrocyanide, iron 3 sulfate, copper 1 thiosulfate, lead 4 oxide. These four. The rest you will practice. I'll give you a short file where you can practice. And also the table for positive ions, negative ions, both monoatomic and polyatomic negative ions. Because many negative ions are polyatomic, like sulfate, SO4 2 minus, carbonate, CO3 2 minus. So Sibdat has completed, Sarthak has completed. Well, those who have not joined my earlier classes in class 9, class 10, um, don't be embarrassed. In some day, maybe today also, some of you cannot have a good understanding what is going on, what will be going on, can ask me to sit in the evening. I am free up to 8, at the most 8:30. I can clear his or her doubt independently or collectively. I can ask all of you who are interested to ask some extra questions to me or doubts of today's class. You can come and sit with me again in the evening. That is possible. Now, yes, Siddharth, tell me what is the formula of ferric sulfate or iron 3 sulfate?
Sir, Fe2SO4 whole 3.
Yes, because iron 2 means 2 plus, Fe2 plus. And sulfate is a polyatomic ion, SO4, and its valency or charge is 2 minus. But iron 3, I'm sorry, I am given iron 3, it is 3 plus. So you know there is a crossover rule, this will come here, this will come here. The plus minus signs are not written. So the empirical formula is Fe2SO4 whole thrice. कार ठीक थिला कौन कौन आप लोगों में से सही आंसर दिए थे रेज योर हैंड्स प्लीज आयरन 3 सल्फेट का फॉर्मूला जो मैंने लिखा अभी वही था आपका कॉपी में अगर मैं देखूं अभी वही मिलेगा सच के सिवाय कुछ नहीं कहूंगा सिर्फ सच ही कहूंगा यस निर्मलेंदु निर्मलेंदु व्हाट हैपेंड यू हैव नॉट रेज योर हैंड प्रसन्न सिस्टर सुभद्रा Okay, good. Then coming to potassium ferrocyanide. Sarthak, tell me what is potassium ferrocyanide?
Sir, K4FeCN whole 6.
Yes. Now, this is a typical ion called ferrocyanide ion. Ansulima, this is, later on you will find this ion, this negative ion but contains a metal. Usually, simple negative ions, they are made up of non-metals like sulfate, SO4. Both sulfur and oxygen, they are non-metals. NO3 minus. But these are a special kind of ions called complex ions, where you will get a metal as well as non-metal. One iron and surrounded by 6 cyanide ions, CN, cyanide ions. And the net charge of this will be 4 minus. And you have to put a square bracket to honor or to distinguish this kind of complex ions from normal non-complex ions, simple ions. You put a square bracket. Often students, they, when there is no subscript, no coefficient, they usually delete the square bracket. But I always insist to keep the square bracket to honor this unique unique kind of negative ions called complex ions having metal inside the negative ion. So ferrocyanide is 4 minus, FeCN whole 6. This whole. That means there are 6 carbon atoms, 6 nitrogen atoms and 6 carbon atoms. Yes. Not that only nitrogen, 6 nitrogen atoms and 1 carbon atom. No, 6 each. So this parenthesis should be there and this square bracket should be there. You can avoid it, but I insist you to give 4 minus. And potassium is 1 plus. So you cross over this, 1 is never written, it is understood. So K4. As per rule, you could have removed the square bracket, but I insist you to put it because there is a parenthesis inside that has to be there, and this can be avoided. Some people write like this, but I say you keep this even if the subscript is 1, K4 FeCN6. Tell me, let me know how many of you have written correctly potassium ferrocyanide. Never mind. Because I will be giving you a total package, a fun package. It's not a very pressurizing package. You will love to sit for another half an hour in a day. The entire day you find out half an hour or 45 minutes. You practice what I will give. Yes. As how many of you have understood? Raise your hands. When I explained how you write the formula of such molecule, गलती से mistake, molecule potassium ferrocyanide. Well, okay. Now the third one is copper 1 thiosulfate. Who can answer? कौन बता सकता है और बता सकती है? Raise your hands now. Still Salazar, can you attempt? Yes, tell me what is the formula. Just write down, tell me the formula. No. The only Siddharth again.
Sir, CuS2O3. Sir, CS2O3.
Yes, Ramesh Chandra Patnaik. I think you are somebody else in the guise of Ramesh Chandra Patnaik, or you are really Ramesh Chandra Patnaik, a YouTube participant. Yes, he or she has written correctly, but unfortunately, Siddharth, you have answered wrongly. Sarthak, आपका
सर
क्या? हाँ?
सर Cu2S2O3.
Yes. Cu, it is copper 1. Cuprous is 1 plus. And thiosulfate has a formula S2O3 2 minus. There are 2 sulfur atoms, 3 oxygen atoms. That is called thiosulfate, not sulfite. It is the brother of sulfate. We will know how. Thiosulfate. Then this 2 will come here, and 1 is never written. But in this situation, the parenthesis will be removed. It's not a complex ion. The parenthesis is to be deleted. Cu2S2O3. Who have understood? Raise your hands. Yes. Ramesh. Oh, I will start calling you Ramesh. You confirm that you are really Ramesh. Start chatting on the YouTube chat page, because I am active both in Zoom, looking directly to those who have attended, and also looking to the chart. Of course, YouTube and Zoom, they will be away from each other by maybe a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. YouTube will get little late, and Zoom instant. Now, all of you have understood? आप लोग सब समझ गए कैसे CU2H2O3 हुआ है कि नहीं अंशुलिमा?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the last one I gave you is lead 4 oxide. कौन कहेगा और कहेगी? Oh, Anisha, sister Subhadra. Our another sister Anisha is on YouTube. I don't know why she is sighing away from Zoom. Doesn't matter. I'm kidding. In Zoom, you will get a better exposure where you can directly ask. You can stall, halt the instructor, ask a question, and answer the instructor's question. So better impact will be from Zoom. Yes, Anisa is correct. Om Prakash Koila. Lead 4 oxide.
PbO2.
Yes, PbO2. How? See, lead 4 means plus 4. It is same flows. Earlier we were calling it plumbic, but now lead 4. Oxide is 2 minus. And here you have to simplify. Because I told you these are empirical formula. Empirical formula is the simplest ratio between ions. So this is not simple. Have a common factor is 2. So 1, this is 2. Therefore, we simplify. The reason is, if somebody asks, why are you cancelling? 2 is becoming 1 and 4 is becoming 2. Why you are doing that? Because these formula are empirical formula and not molecular formula. The independent molecules, they do not exist. So it is 2 will come here. 1 is never written. So PbO2. This is plumbic oxide. Now, to end up this section 1, I will definitely urge upon those to just glance. Don't mug up. Don't memorize. Don't cram. Just I have listed most of the positive ions which are metallic. Most of them are metallic. The only non-metallic positive ion is ammonium, NH4 plus 1. Valency 1 monovalent. Valency 2 divalent. These alkaline earth metals are group 2. And apart from them, mercuric, that is mercury 2, iron 2, lead 2, manganese 2. Earlier we were calling manganese, chromium 2. Earlier we were calling chromus. These are now outdated. Trivalent. On the group 3, like aluminum, gallium and all that. Antimony, cobalt. And from among the transition elements, cobalt 3 plus, cobalt. Earlier we were calling cobaltic, iron 3, ferric, manganese 3. We are calling manganic. These ic-us gone. Tetravalent. And tin has 2 valencies. Stannous or tin 2, stannic is 4. Lead 2, 4. Plumbus, lead 2, plumbic 4 plus. Pentavalent. Now these group 3 elements, group 13 elements or group 3A elements have 2, plus 3 and plus 5. Arsenous or arsenic 3, antimonous, antimony 3, and their corresponding 5. Arsenic 5, antimony 5 or antimonic. Vanadium also is 5. It's a transition metal. Forget about it. You don't just have a look. I will never ever say to mug up. Then I have already told you the variable oxidation states have been now represented by stock notation with the Roman representation of oxidation state, valency. IV, these are Roman. And negative ions, I have given an exhaustive list. Monovalent containing elemental, which we call atomic, monoatomic ions. And these are polyatomic ions, nitrate, nitrite, bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate. Just read out loudly. so that everyone near you can hear. Bisulfite or hydrogen sulfite, hypochlorite, OCl minus 1. Some people write ClO minus 1, same thing. Permanganate, MnO4 1 minus. Chlorite, bisulfate or hydrogen sulfate, chlorate, ClO3 minus 1. Bromate, iodate. This 1 minus is not yet over. Metaluminate or simply aluminate, AlO2 minus. It is cheating formula, and the actual formula is AlOH whole 4, and this is a complex square bracket 1 minus. But many times we cheat by writing aluminate as AlO2 single minus. Superoxide, O2 minus 1. Hypophosphite, perchlorate, perbromate, and all this you read out loudly and see their formula and charge. Of course, these are all monovalent. Chromite, vanadate, and all that. Hydrogen sulfide, argentocyanide, antimonite, antimonate, bismuthate. Then divalent, carbonate, sulfate, oxide, sulfide. So you just read and look to their formula, never. Zincate, the cheating formula is ZnO2 2 minus, and the actual formula is ZnOH whole 4 2 minus. Just see them. Carbide, C2 2 minus. There are many kinds of carbides. One of the carbide which is also called acetylide is C2 2 minus. But another carbide will come in tetravalent. Tetravalent 4 minus. That is only C4 minus. So trivalent, nitride, phosphate, this is polyatomic, this is monoatomic. Ferrocyanide, this is ferricyanide. The formula is same, but the charge is 3 minus, it becomes ferricyanide. It is 4 minus ferrocyanide. We will know why. Many whys we will be unraveling the mystery. Mystery has been already unraveled, but we will once again do it. We means students. Borate, oxychloride, phosphide, arsenite, arsenate, cobaltinitride. Tetravalent, another carbide. C4 minus, this is methanide. Ferrocyanide, dioxide, pyrophosphate. Then formula writing we have already discussed. Now, why the crossover is there? Why we make crossover? Say aluminium is 3 plus, sulfate 2 minus. Why we do? We do for charge balance, because these are ionic compounds. The total, these cavities, as I funnily say, gatto, depressions, indicate the loss of proton, a loss of electron. I am so sorry. So aluminium has lost 3 electrons to remain in the form of aluminium ion. The 3 electrons have been lost. So aluminium was flat. In the beginning, the atom was flat. But the loss of 3 electrons have made cavities, depressions. So there are 6 cavities from 2 aluminium ions that will match with, sulfate has, 2 extra electrons. Each sulfate has 2 extra electrons, is 2 minus. So when we gain extra electron, I have represented by a sign of big chonch, thonto, chonch. So the number of chonches indicate how many extra electron you have gained or what is the negative charge. So each sulfate has 2 minus. So how to balance the charge? Only when the minimum number of aluminium ions should be 2 and the minimum number of sulfate ions should be 3, so that 3 2s are 6 plus and 2 3s are 6 minus, they will match. So the molecular formula, the empirical formula should be neutral. The net charge will be 0. That is why we make a crossover. Why we cancel? Because it is empirical formula. Why we simplify? Because it is empirical formula. Why we cross over? because the net positive charge should be equal to negative charge. That is why we bring the charge, the absolute valency of one to the subscript of the other and vice versa. And yes, this is the assignment on Sulima I have given just to practice. A, B, C, D, some just for fun. If you cannot, then look to the table. Don't ever try to memorize. Within 9 days sitting with me, these things will flow or will be recorded in your chips. More powerful silicon chips. I'm sorry, more powerful chips than silicon chips will be available, will be there inside our brain, particularly the young students' brain like you, who can record it. At least, if you read them for once or twice, then it will be recorded automatically in your very developed memory chips. So these things you do. And, I have also a solution file because I have to manage and monitor the progress of everyone. So those of you will be getting time to complete. I will send the answer file in the group, WhatsApp group. You can tally. You yourself can tally. Supposing magnesium, nitride. You look to the table. Magnesium is 2 plus. Nitride is a monoatomic ion, 3 minus. Supposing you are missing out, you are suspecting, 3 minus or 4 minus. Look back to the file, to the table. Oh, there's 3 minus. So 3 will come here and 2 will come here. So the formula will be Mg3 and 2. That's it. You try. And I urge upon you who will be really gaining substantially from this program to complete. Find some time. Now you have just come out of your examination and you are yet to be involved in rigorous coaching in some institute or in your school, whatever. Nowadays, every parent has to induct his or her words into some coaching houses. It is inevitable now. So, and before we go to the next section, I would tell you an interesting story. That is, Mercurus is one. Mercury 1 is Mercurus. But its actual formula is Hg2 2 plus. Although in a lower level you are writing Hg1 plus, but actually that remains in a dimeric form. Two mercury atoms that remain united with a covalent bond and the net charge is 2 plus. So that each atom will be having a share of 1 plus. Remember, later on you will know why there is a coupling, dimerization between mercury atoms, why not for other atoms? So the mystery behind this unique exception you will know later on, not now. So remember, whenever you are asked to write mercury or mercurous, say chloride, so you can write HgCl 1 plus 1 minus, so they cancel. Okay, this is lower level student, but you will write Hg2 2 plus and then Cl minus 1. So minus 1 is not written, but Hg2 is already there, but 2 will come here. So Hg2Cl2. So this is Hg2Cl2, not HgCl. So far, any question? Anyone who wants to ask me anything, whatever is going on, feel free. Be unto yourself, be unto your nature. You can ask me. It's not, we are not showing off that we are doing a YouTube online live streaming program so that you are bound to be little unnatural, little showy. It's not like that. I am with you, the Zoom guys, and also with the participants who are directly watching me now, and many of the students will watch later, because some of my colleagues, they were saying that why not you shift your program to evening so that my nephew or my ward will be able to join in the early morning, see, or he cannot wake up so early. I didn't say no, but I remained, persistent with my decision. Early morning, if a student cannot wake up, he or she is not inclined to take the benefit. So let her or him not join. The better option is not joining the program. Okay. So आप लोगों में से कोई नहीं है, किसी क्वेश्चन मुझे कुछ सवाल करें तो हम जवाब देंगे, जवाब देने के लिए जरूर कोशिश करेंगे. यस मृत्युंजय.
सर आउ थरे टे बुझे देबे Hg2 2+ काई हैला
काहे खेला तो मु कहि नहीं, मु तो काहे खेला परे तुम जानियो बोली कहली. You don't try to outwit the instructor. This is called outwitting, trying to outwit. मु कहली जे परवर्ती काल रे तुम जानिबो काहे कि मर्क्यूरी मर्क्यूरी भितर गोटे कोवलेंट बॉन्ड हैला हिकरी डाइमर फॉर्मेशन है. दीटा मिसिले कहते डाइमर, तीनटा मिसिले कहते ट्राइमर, चारटा टेट्रामर, and n number general is polymer. So why such dimerization happened only in case of mercury, not in others? People were thinking copper is also in the same dimeric form. Later on, much later, it was found experimentally, no, copper 1+ doesn't remain in a dimeric, Cu2 2+, no, only mercury is staying. Later on, now look, Mrityunjay, if I continue to tell something to corroborate why it is so, now I'll tell you many things, that there is unpaired electron, that will be dimerizing, leaving, that mercury has a relativistic contraction effect. Can you understand relativistic contraction effect? Why should I, why should I, lose my cool and waste your valuable time and my valuable time and sacrifice the main objective of this program? Yes, but I'm happy that you had the courage to ask some question. अवश्य ଯେତିକି ମୁଁ କହିଲିନି ସେଥିରେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ତମର କ'ଣ ବୁଝିବାଟା ଏ ମର୍କ୍ୟୁରସ୍ ବିଷୟରେ ହେଇଥିବ. ପୁରାପୁରି ତ ହେଇପାରିବନି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ, କାହିଁକି ସେ ଡାଇମରାଇଜ କଲା. ଅବଶ୍ୟ ଡାଇମର ଜିନିଷଟା ତ ବୁଝିଲ, ଯେ ଦିଟା ମିଶିଲେ ଡାଇମର, ତିନିଟା ମିଶିଲେ ଟ୍ରାଇମର, ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା କାହିଁକି ମିଶିବ ମର୍କ୍ୟୁରୀ, ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ କାହିଁକି ମିଶିଲେନି, ସେଟା ତ ପରେ ପଢିବା. ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଯଦି ଏବେ ଜାଣିବା ତାହେଲେ ଆଉ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇପାରିବନି, ରହିଯିବା. Well, if no question, we continue.
सर एटार जो फॉर्मूलाटा एम्पिरिकल फॉर्मूला ना मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला हबो?
See, empirical formula. सब all are empirical formula. All are in the
सर
solid.
बेस्ट फॉर्मूला नाइट
In the solid of mercurous chloride, Ag will remain in a dimeric form, Ag2 2+, and chloride will be there. And to charge balance, we need for one mercurous ion, Ag2 2+, we need two chloride ions to make a charge balance. Okay. Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Any more follow-up question?
No, sir.
But in the solid crystal state, how they are arranged? For example, sodium chloride is looking like NaCl. The empirical formula Cl, Na plus Cl minus. We are not writing Na plus Cl minus. Whoever asks you, Write the formula of sodium chloride, we are writing NaCl. Again, galti se mistake. In sodium chloride, sodium never, ever remains in an atomic neutral state. It remains as +1 with one gatta, one cavity. And this remains as one thonto. 1 plus 1 minus. But we are not habituated to write Na plus Cl minus. Calcium chloride Ca2 plus 2Cl minus. We don't write. We write simply CaCl2. But actually, calcium should be written as Ca2 plus and 2Cl minus. But we club them and don't put the charge. Simply show the simplest ratio between the atoms. In fact, ions. In fact, ions. Any question? Okay. But don't hesitate. Mrutyunjay, I didn't discourage Mrutyunjay. I encourage to ask questions, but I will decide to which question I will answer and to which question I will remain diplomatically silent to avoid delay and to avoid confusion among others. ତୁମର ନିଜର ବି ହବ confusion ପଡ଼ିବ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ଆହୁରି ପଡ଼ିବ. Now, we are going to the second section, ionic equations. Now see, when we write aluminum sulfate, we already know back end in our mind's back end, we know these are ions. Can you tell me from one formula unit how many aluminum ions and how many? You just write down in equation form. In the right side, you have to show how many aluminum ions and put the charge, proper charge, the cavities, and how many sulfate ions give the proper big chonchos. Raise your hands. Please bear with me. I am doing some work which should not be done. And often in television you have noticed that guys who are in the television speaking something, they often sip tea, coffee, or whatever. I don't know. We don't know. The viewers do not know what is inside. Maybe spirit. I'm acting as if I am taking tea, but I might be taking alcohol. But who is looking at it? No, it will be falling down. It is tea. Yes, Sarthak has finished. I will tell you the tricks. Don't worry. But anyone who can write down. Shivdat, are you sleepy?
No, sir.
In Odia, guys who are unable to understand Odia, let me tell you. We say, dhulaucho ki, dhulaucho. Now see, I funnily say, Amsulima, I'm telling in Odia, Yara valency tarota. Yara valency tarota. Just, iska valency, uska number. हिंदी में इसका वैलेंसी उसका नंबर यार वैलेंसी तार टा केतुटा हाउ मेनी सो यार वैलेंसी हला 2 प्लस आर थिला 3 प्लस यार थिला 2 माइनस सो इटा हेगला तार टा तबन दैट मींस 2 aluminum ions 2 number of aluminum ions will be 2 but तार वैलेंसी whatever its valency that will be charge aluminum cannot lose less than 3 electrons or more than 3 electrons. To attain stable octet, it has to lose. You will know when you study atomic structure. It has 3 electrons in the valence shell, and that 3 electrons it has to lose, not more, not less. so that it can attain the stable neon configuration. Similarly, how many sulfate? Aluminum ka valency, sulfate ka how many? 3. And each sulfate, you can put a square bracket, 2 minus, because it has, each sulfate ion has 2 chonchos, 2 bigs, 2 thontos. Therefore, when you multiply 2 into 3, it will be plus 6, and 3 into 2, it will be 6 minus 6 plus. Charge is balanced. So usually we write, when you grow up, you don't put always square bracket, 3SO4, 2 minus. This charge is enjoyed by the entire ion, not by oxygen, but the entire ion enjoys the charge. I mean, the whole ion has a charge equal to 2 minus. You might be wanting to know, I don't know whether you are interested. Now at this point, you have got that curiosity. To know, you will honestly tell me, Siddharth, make your hands down. You finish interacting with me, you don't have any further question to ask or to answer, you make your hands down. Now, why sulfate has the valency 2 minus? We understand aluminum has to lose 3 electrons to attain octet. Then why sulfate has 2 minus? Why phosphate has 3 minus? Do you have any that query, that inquisitiveness in your mind? Raise your hands. Who? Or you know, some of you know, I'm sure. Now, without further delay, let me tell you why it has become 2 minus, 3 minus, 4 minus. Why? Because these are the negative ions which have been derived from the corresponding acid. The acid is H2SO4. So this sulfuric acid, if it will lose 2 hydrogen ions, the remaining will be sulfate ion. I am showing you the structure, the covalent bond structure. This is the bonding. You will study later, don't worry. This is the covalent structure of sulfuric acid, but inside water, it will undergo dissociation. This bond will break. This bond, covalent bond containing 1 hydrogen electron, 1 oxygen electron, they will come to oxygen because oxygen is more electronegative. Same thing will happen here. So that in water, this ionization occurs, the OH bond breaks. So that breaks in a manner that both the electrons come to oxygen. Remember that when an atom loses its own electron, then it develops +1 charge for loss of 1 electron, for loss of each electron. And when it gains an electron, it gains a thonto, chonch, and it acquires 1 minus for each electron gained. But for getting back its own electron, there is no charge. ଧର ଏଠି ମଝିରୁ ଡିଭାଇଡ୍ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା, ତୁ ତୋ ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରନ୍ ନେଇ ଯା, ମୁଁ ମୋର ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରନ୍ ନେଇକି ଆସେ, then there will be no charge. K plus K minus हबार नहीं. जेझा इलेक्ट्रॉन तो नहीं गले और कौन असुविधा हला. Respective electrons are being equally shared, so the no charge. But now the oxygen is gaining the right over hydrogen's electron. ता निजो पाई किछि नहीं पर. So as a result, it is जो develop कला सेठी O उपरे एपटे O उपरे 1 minus, एपटे 1 उपरे 1 minus. So total charge हला 2 minus. सेठी पाई सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड रो आसीची बोली दीटा H plus and दीटा H plus आयन चली गला. डिसोसिएशन है दीटा H plus आयन चली गला. अवश्य H plus आयन टा एमिति नंगला अवस्था रे रहेनी, सी वाटर संगे मिसिक हाइड्रोनियम आयन H3O plus हिसाब रे रहे. अन्य स्ट्रक्चर तार भी अच्छी. मु खाली देखौ जे H plus को कहंती प्रोटॉन, हाइड्रोजन आयन से चली गला परे जोटा रहिला पॉलीएटॉमिक आयन सल्फेट तार वैलेंसी 2 माइनस हबो. सेमती फॉस्फेट ता आसीची फॉस्फोरिक एसिड रु, एटा आसीची H3PO4 रु. सो तीनटा प्रोटॉन गला परे तीनटा ऑक्सीजन रे एठी -1 सिटी -1 सिटी -1. So total charge will be 3 minus. Who have understood? Raise your hands, please. ମୃତ୍ୟୁଞ୍ଜୟ ଶୋଇପଡ଼ିଲ କି? ମୃତ୍ୟୁଞ୍ଜୟ
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍।
ହାତ ଟେକୁନ, ନା କେହି ବୁଝିପାରିଲନି? ଟିକେ ହାର୍ଡ ହଉଛି।
ସାର୍ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ହଉଛି।
ତାହେଲେ ତୁମେ ଆଗରୁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଆଟେଣ୍ଡ କରିନ, ବାବା ତୁମେ ଆଉଥରେ ଦେଖିବ, ତାକୁ ୱାଚ୍ କରିବ ଏଗେନ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏଗେନ୍। ଆମେ କ'ଣ କରିବା କି ବାବା, ଆମେ वी हैव टू मेंटेन a particular level, and I am no doubt I am coming down to a very low level, but only for meritorious student, only for those who have already developed, evolved to a little bit. Now I'm not saying to the great extent, the concept of science in general, and physical science in particular. Okay. So, acha, let me give you another, say, lead 2 nitrate. Write down the formula quickly. If you can, because I have given the PDF file with 6 slides in one page, so that each class, say, I have already given 3 files in the YouTube. Now I'll give you in the group one more file. So each file, I think, will be 3 pages or 4 pages. If possible, if you've got a printer at your home, you can print out. It will be better to have a ready reference of those ions and their valency, so that when we discuss, you can just look. I insist on you to always look to the table, not remember. The memory will be automatic, spontaneous. So, kiya likhila? Ansulima, what will be the formula of lead 2 nitrate?
Sir, PbNO3 whole 2.
Precisely, PbNO3 whole 2. Because lead is 2 plus, nitrate is 1 minus. So 2 will come here, 1 is never written. So the parenthesis will remain. And now you let me know a one formula you need when it dissociates into ions in aqueous solution will give me how many lead ions and how many nitrate ion. Always remember, यार वैलेंसी तार टा, इसका वैलेंसी उसका नंबर. Yes, Ansulima?
Yes, sir. So it would be 1 Pb2 plus
Yes,
2 NO3 minus.
precisely. So 1 is often not written. If you don't write any figure, it means it is 1. So some people write 1, right? No worries at all. 1 lead ion, karana ethi kichhi nahi mane, there is nothing in the subscript means 1. And here 2 means 2 nitrate ions. So in this way, you practice. I've given everything, you practice. If you cannot complete all, then for every category, you at least 2, 3, you practice. Because supposing you don't get time today, you are busy. You have to go with your parents to some place because it is now just exam over period. Many, they forget. One of my, colleagues, maybe a friend of Ansulima, your dad, might be your dad's friend who is in Ravenshaw University. He was very, very particular about his daughter's joining here. But since she belongs to ICSE and ICSE, I didn't know. Had I known this, I would have shifted to 24th. Nobody told at that time. while I, communicated the information and flashed it, nobody pointed out that ICSE is not over by 23rd. It will be over on 23rd. Would have started on 24th. But her major problem is to take a break after the exam. She needs a break because she has been subjected to a lot of pressure for the examination. Yes, it is true. It's true for all. Not only you get pressure from school, but also from parents. But I'm not saying all. Exceptions are always there. From society and everyone, you get pressure. So pressure is relieved when you go for an outing, for a trip, or do something which is nothing to do with study. Then you are relaxed. And I said, yes, let her relax. My videos are always available. If at all she becomes interested by watching the first video today after the class is over, after her exam is over, then she might feel like joining from tomorrow and can ask her doubts. I'm always there for any passionate student. I'm always available. That has been my passion for the last 25 years. Because I took voluntary retirement from Ravenshaw University long ago when all of you were not born in 2002. And since then, we had, initiated this organization called the Uranium. Our objective is to popularize physical science in general, but chemical science in particular among school students up to class 12. Starting from class 8 to class 12. We conduct camps. After COVID, the offline camps at different places has been reduced. We are making a one-day program, but not multi-days program in a separate place. We will be resuming that. It has been a practice to have one-day program at different places. But many days program will be here, both offline and online. Okay, now we will be moving to another thing that is called ionic equation. Now, when you write an equation, supposing I say you write down the whole equation, I'll give you lead 2 nitrate, which is soluble in water. Any substance which is soluble in water, as I have already told you, that they will be separated into free ions. When I say free, I don't mean really free. They are solvated, they are hydrated. They are inside the aqueous case, water case. Lead 2 nitrate. So the one substance which is soluble in water, like when you add a table salt, sodium chloride to water and shake. Just stir a little bit, you'll find it will disappear, means it is dissolved, soluble. So you write aqu. Aqueous means it is soluble in water, aqueous. Plus you add, you are doing now a reaction. I'm mimicking a reaction. Plus in the same test tube containing lead nitrate solution, you add another solution prepared separately in another test tube, say sodium chloride, the simplest. And that is also soluble, aqu. And immediately you get a precipitate, a white precipitate of lead to chloride. So this reaction is called a double displacement reaction, as you have studied in class 10. The lead ion will be friend to chloride ion, sodium ion will be friend to nitrate ion. This will be lead 2, there will be no change of valency. Lead 2 chloride. In these reactions, the charges are maintained, no change of valency. So such reactions are called non-redox reactions, as we will be knowing later on, just a bit later. Plus sodium will be friend to nitrate, sodium nitrate. भौणी सुभद्रा तमे अच्छ ना तुमे सोई पड़लनी परीक्षा तो सरीची सोई पड़ भौणी तुम टिके भय शुणिया को चाहूँ मु सुबह
Yes, sir.
अच्छा अरे अच्छी रे ମୁଁ ଖାଲି କହେ ଭାବିଲି ଦୋକାନ ଖୋଲି ଦେଇକିରି ପଳେଇଛି ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଆମେ କରୁ ପାଖ ପଡ଼ିଶା ଆମ ଦୋକାନକୁ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି କିଏ ଚୋରି କରିବ ଦୋକାନ ଖୋଲିଦେଇ ଆମେ ଚାଲ ସୁଭାଶିଷ ଅଛ ହଁ ଅନିଶା ଠିକ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି पूरा इक्वेशन टा लेखो पूरा इक्वेशन टा लेखो एंड अंशुलिमा your name is a little difficult
Yes,
Ansulima
sir. Yes, sir.
Ansulima can I call you Ansu
Yes, sir.
will you mind if it might match with a boy's name Ansu
No, sir.
oh,
My friends also call me that, so it's fine.
Ansu huh because 4 letter and with a complex letter Ansu very little difficult to pronounce. So Ansu. Yes, Ansu, interestingly, one of them will be a precipitate, insoluble precipitate. Whether white or blue or red, you are not to bother now at this moment. I told you it is a white precipitate because you have not experimented on. In school, you might have done the experiment. Yes, it is a white precipitate, and the one which is insoluble, we write S, solid, not soluble. This S stands for solid. And sodium nitrate is again soluble. So only thing you will see in your eye is the white precipitate, which is nothing but lead chloride, which is insoluble, written as S, and this is again soluble AC. So you write down the whole equation, reaction equation in formula. Never mind to balance it. Forget about balancing. We will balance later. Formula writing is most important. Students, they give more importance to balancing in the beginning, so they fail. They cannot write correctly, so they fail. If you give your emphasis on correct formula writing, बैलेंसिंग इज योर बाएं हाथ का खेल हो जाएगा अदरवाइज बाएं दाएं दोनों हाथ अगर आप यूज करोगे फिर भी आप इस जन्म में तो नहीं कर पाओगे मे बी योर ग्रैंडसन ग्रैंडडॉटर विल ट्राई सी और ही विल फेल by mistake if you have written the formula wrong. Formula means the plus minus has to be balanced. That is the main philosophy, logic behind the formula writing. And that too is empirical formula. Someone has written in the chat box, Dilip Singh is, well, you have written Dilip Singh as products. What about reactants? You have to write all. Sibdat Koila, tell me.
Sir, PbNO3 whole 2 plus
PbNO3
NaCl.
whole 2 plus NaCl gives rise to, we don't say equal to.
PbCl2.
It's not mathematics. In
PbCl2
mathematics, lead chloride, lead to chloride is PbCl2 and
plus
sodium
NaNO3.
nitrate.
NaNO3.
Yes, Na is +1, nitrate is -1, so NaNO3. This is formula writing. We have written the equation, reaction equation. Of course, we have to write AC here, S here. Sometimes we show by a downward arrow mark. A precipitate is shown by a downward arrow mark. A gas is shown by an upward arrow mark. And this is AC. So the trick is, for any double displacement reaction of this type, one of the products is bound to be insoluble and appear as a precipitate. Whether white or red or chocolate brown or blue, doesn't matter to you now, but it will be a precipitate. One of them will be precipitate, S, solid. Okay. Now balancing. Immediately the conservation of mass, because mass has to be conserved. Left hand side, as many number of elements and their number of atoms are there, same will be maintained, will be retained in the right side. So nitrate ion here is 2, but here nitrate ion is 1, here is 2. So our inspection, as I call, people call hit and trial method, I say inspection method. Just look, nitrate 2, here nitrate 1. So you multiply the coefficient of NaNO3 2. 2 means NAB theta, nitrate B theta, 2 NaNO3. So once you have done 2 here, sodium ions becoming 2. So how to equalize sodium? You have to also multiply 2 here. So that automatically 2 chloride ion, and here also in the formula there will be 2 chloride ion. But if you write wrong formula, supposing PbCl, instead of PbCl2 you write PbCl, then you break your head into 90 pieces or 100 pieces, you break your head, you won't be able to balance. So formula writing is most crucial in going ahead. That is why I am urging upon you formula writing to practice kariba aji. Now supposing I'll give you another thing. Say ammonium carbonate ଏଥିରେ add କରିବା sodium hydroxide solution. Let me tell you, this is AC, this is AC. You might be wondering, some of you, not all, because those who were with me, they know the solubility rules. भूली गलनी, पोड़ी की तक खाई गलनी. I'm sure about it. I will revise everything. But others who are new to me, they might be wondering, अपन सर केमती जान ले, आप कैसे आपको हमको कैसे पता चलेगा कौन सा सब्सटेंस सॉल्युबल है कौन सा नहीं है? आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या. मेरे पास आप हो ना, आप सिर्फ आपका टाइम दीजिए, मैं आपको एंटरटेनमेंट दूंगा और आपको कैसे पढ़ाई हो जाएगा आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. ये दावा है हमारा. Just like Subhash Bose was telling, give me blood, I will give you freedom. Something like that, if I am not incorrect. In the army that he created, it's called Azad Hind Fauj. He was doing in Japan and Indonesia some. He was training and was addressing to those who have joined in the Azad Hind Fauj, give me blood, your blood, I will give you freedom. So similarly, I dare telling you, give me your time, I will give you entertainment. Fun, chemistry is fun, nothing but fun. Yes. And what will happen? Ammonium will be friend to hydroxide, carbonate will be friend to sodium. But one more thing I will tell you at this point of time, you have to slightly warm it. The heating is represented by a triangle sign. This triangle sign indicates you are heating. You have added the two aqueous solutions, but nothing will happen so soon, or visible change you will not find. You will only find a change when you slightly warm it. So what will happen? Ammonium hydroxide is unstable. Once it forms, it breaks down to ammonia. So ammonium hydroxide breaks down to ammonia plus water. So this gas ammonia will come out. When you smell, your nose will just give way, it will go away. Pungent smelling ammonia gas will come out. Ammonium hydroxide is a misnomer. There is nothing called ammonium hydroxide. But we write, kalti se mistake we write. It is actually ammonia plus water. Nothing called ammonium hydroxide. So that happens, the ammonium, you think supposing ammonium hydroxide हुआ, इसके बाद इसका decompose हो गया ammonia plus water, water. So what will happen? This is not a double displacement reaction. In fact, it looks like a double displacement reaction if you write ammonium hydroxide, but ammonium hydroxide is not stable at all, which is a myth. Is a myth. Ammonium hydroxide is a myth. We write, यही उम्र है कर ले गलती से mistake. So we have to, yes, sodium carbonate is, we write sodium carbonate. This is also AG plus. I told you that I will not write ammonium hydroxide, ammonia, which is a gas, G write G for gas, and water is a liquid, you write L. Plus water, which is a liquid, L. So we have learnt 4 terms: aqu for those which are soluble in water, aqueous; solid for those which will be insoluble in water and come down as precipitate, which you can see; gas will go up. You cannot see because most of the gases are colorless like ammonia. Some gases like nitrogen dioxide is colored, reddish brown. Chlorine is yellowish green. Bromine is red. Some gases you can know, but other gases are colorless like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, ammonia, carbon dioxide. These are colorless gases. You can't see, but you can experience it because bubbles will come out. Gas bubbles will come out. So can you write down the remaining formula? Forget about balancing. Balancing बाएं हाथ का खेल है. अगर आपको फॉर्मूला राइटिंग सही होगा तो आपका बैलेंसिंग ऑटोमेटिक हो जाएगा. Ammonium carbonate, you write formula in a separate place. अलग अलग जगह पर आप फॉर्मूला लिखिए, क्योंकि आप some of you are beginners, some of you are old timers. They can write formula instantly. They can mentally frame out ammonium is 1 plus carbonate CO3, 2 minus a 2 will come here, and 1 is never written, so it is NH4 whole 2 CO3. But some of you who are beginning have to use separate place to fix up the formula writing and then import. Is it, had it been a computer, then Control C, Control V. So अरमान, आप बोलिए इक्वेशन क्या होगा, पूरा इक्वेशन बोलिए आप.
Sir, NH4 whole 2 CO3 plus
Yes.
NaOH gives us NH3 plus H2O plus Na2CO3.
Yes, Na2CO3 is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 plus ammonia plus water. Water is liquid, ammonia. You have to write all this. Sodium carbonate is AC, sodium hydroxide is AC, ammonium carbonate is AC. So, for gases, you can just put an upward arrow mark to show that it is coming out of the system, entering into thin air. So then balancing. Nitrogen here, ammonia has come from ammonium ion. 1 ammonia is there, but 2 ammonium ions are there. This is your heat point. The heat point is ammonia, ammonium ion. So you have to multiply by 2. Once you do that, things will be getting easier and easier. There are 2 sodium atoms. Our next heat is sodium. 2 here, 1 here. So multiply here by 2. Then you count how many hydrogen. Here you are left with 2 more hydrogen. Ammonia is NH3, but ammonium is NH4. So 2 hydrogen left, and here 2 hydrogen left, and 2 oxygen are there. So 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen will be making 2 water. 2 2s are 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen. So by just placing 2, our equation is perfectly balanced. The mass is conserved, and we are ready to play with mole concept and stoichiometry calculation. Once you write correct equation, correct balancing, then you are ready to play with moles and mole concept and stoichiometry calculation. So how much crucial it is to write correct formula, you can realize that, which often students neglect. They go to higher and higher things, but the fundamental, which I harp on in the beginning of our popularization program, to however trivial, trifling the matter is to write formula, I say with all highlight emphasis that please practice today formula writing. Once you practice, oh yes, Anissa, you are correct. Okay, then comes ionic equation. Well, the next is solubility rules. Most of you know because I have discussed how to know which are soluble. In fact, Ansu, there is nothing called insoluble. in later, maybe after 6 months or 4 months, when you study ionic equilibrium, you will find those which now we are calling insoluble, they are really called sparingly soluble. Visibly, you will not find any change. Supposing you add sodium chloride with water, dissolves. Stir it, you will find everything disappears to form a colorless solution. Take its counterpart, silver chloride. Add a bit of silver chloride to water. Nothing will happen. Does not dissolve or insoluble. However strongly and how many times you stir, nothing will happen. It will settle down. After some time, when you just leave it, it will fall down. Same white, insoluble. So for beginners like you, we say if the solubility is less than 0.001 mole per liter of solution, then we brand it as insoluble. Visually, you don't feel that anything has dissolved. The solubility is so low. It is less gote liter, ଭାବୁଛ ଗୋଟେ ଲିଟର ପାଣି ସକାଳେ ଯୋଉ ପିଉଛ ଏଇଟା ବୋତଲ ତମ ଜେଜ କି କିଏ ପିଉଥିବେ ଆମେ ସବୁ ଗୋଟେ ଲିଟର ପାଣି ପିଉ. Obviously, when your dads are our son, like you are like our grandchildren, but now here you are students. Our relationship now has become twofold. One, away from classroom or teaching, grandson, granddaughter and grandfather like, and inside the class and while teaching, student teacher. Oh yeah. So this relationship has to be very judiciously maintained. Okay, and any substance which is more soluble than 0.1 mole per liter, that is called soluble. This is insoluble. Kintu actually, these are later on you will call sparingly soluble. The word I'm sounding you in advance. But now, since you are a beginner, ame taku insoluble कहले किछि क्षति नहीं. But remember, you have to call it sparingly soluble. Sparingly soluble. It will not have a visual effect, but something is going. Silver chloride ru kiछि na kiछि जाउछि गोटे liter पिछा. Maybe 10 to the power minus 5 moles, 0.0000 401 moles per liter पिछा जाउछि. हम देखा जाउनी. आखि को किछि इम्पैक्ट पडुनी. ताकू हमें इनसॉल्युबल बोली कहबा. सो ए बेसिस रे मु तुमको चारिटा रूल देबी सॉल्युबिलिटी रूल. सेटा को तुमको मन रही जो ऑटोमेटिकली. दैट इज वेरी इंपोर्टेंट. जोटा क्लास 8 9 रु जानिबा दरकार, निहाती दरकार. ऑल inorganic acids and some organic acids are also solubility माने all soluble. आउ लेखुनी और soluble लेखुनी, like HCl, like H2SO4, like HNO3, like H3PO4. एगुड़ा सब पानी रे soluble हे जिवो. तापरे केते कंकर कंप्लीट आयोनाइजेशन हे जिवो. से माने आउ कोवेलेंट बॉन्डिंग रे रहिबेनी. H+ अलगा हे जिवो, तार नेगेटिव आयन अलगा हे जिवो. केते गुडा ही परिबो नै, वीक एसिड गुडा ही परिबो नै. समुद्र को संखे हेबे आ बाकी तक सेमती मॉलिक्यूलर कोवेलेंट मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्म रे थिबे. फॉरगेट अबाउट. किंतु सॉल्युबल हे जिवो, मिसी जिवो. इवन सम ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स लाइक एसिटिक एसिड, विनेगर जुडा, सम ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स, एसिटिक एसिड, फॉर्मिक एसिड सब पानी रे पूरा सॉल्युबल हे जिवो. वेल देयर वीक एसिड्स डिसोसिएशन एते हबनी, किंतु डिसॉल्व हे जिवो, पूरा मिसी जिवो. मद पानी संगे जमी मिसी जाए. ऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंस लाइक मद, C2H5OH एंड पानी एगुड़ा सब मिसी जिवे. एसिड एटा नुहे अवश्य, परवर्ती काल रे जानिबो. यस, इट इज आल्सो एन एसिड. बट फॉर लेमैन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, फॉर ए बिगिनर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अल्कोहल इज न्यूट्रल कंपाउंड. तो ब्लू लिटमस को से रेड करिवनी, बट लेटर ऑन यू विल फाइंड देयर दिस आल्सो एसिडिक. केमि जानिबो ना जदि सोडियम मेटल गुटे पके देबो टिके ना भुरु 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 के हाइड्रोजन बाहरिबो. It will evolve hydrogen. So that is the indication that something is carrying acidic hydrogen. Is losing proton, that proton is gaining electron and becoming neutral hydrogen. Theta hydrogen missing H2 udile as H2 gas. So okay, number one, all inorganic acids are soluble in water. No exception. No exception. All nitrate salts are soluble. तारो पॉजिटिव आयन टा रामा दामा सामा टॉम डिक हैरी हो, अगर नेगेटिव आयन इज नाइट्रेट, लेड नाइट्रेट हो, एंटीमोनी नाइट्रेट हो, एल्यूमिनियम नाइट्रेट हो, या कोई ट्रांजिशन मेटल से वैनेडियम नाइट्रेट हो या टाइटेनियम नाइट्रेट हो और आयरन नाइट्रेट, व्हाटएवर, all nitrates are soluble without any exception. All sodium, potassium, of course group 1 metals, alkali metals. I'm not writing lithium, sodium, potassium. Lithium because it is सबसे दुबला है ना, इसका थोड़ा बहुत एक्सेप्शन आपको मिलेगा, इसलिए मैंने लिथियम नहीं लिखा जानबूझ के, लेकिन इन जनरल alkali metal salts are soluble. Others, that is rubidium, strontium, not strontium, rubidium, cesium, these are all lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, एवढा सब सॉल्ट. एंड नेगेटिव आयन जी भी था, नेगेटिव आयन नाइट्रेट हो, क्लोराइड हो, फॉस्फेट हो, जहाँ भी हो, एंड ता संगे गोटे मिसिला नॉन मेटालिक अमोनियम. Ammonium is a non-metallic positive ion, NH4 plus. Their salts are soluble. Ammonium carbonate हो, ammonium phosphate हो, ammonium chloride हो, जो भी हो, they're all soluble. All alkali metal salts and ammonium salts are soluble. Salts. Now comes exception. Remember, with maximum care. All chloride, bromide, and iodide. I never said fluoride. Basically, in principle, fluoride salts are insoluble. Chloride, bromide, iodide salts are soluble, except, you have to remember with a lot of care and fun, is silver, mercurous. आमे जो एते समय नष्ट कलु Ag2 प्लस, तुम लेख जो माने ये होची, लेख जो माने तल स्टेज रहइबा को चाहूछ, उन्नति करिबा को चाहून, लेख एंड लेड. ए तीनटा तो मन रख. आउ थैलियम अछि, अछि ताकु मारो गुली. सिल्वर, मर्क्यूरस, लेड, दिस इज अस. देखुची पुराना ए तीनटार क्लोराइड, ब्रोमाइड, आयोडाइड इनसॉल्युबल. बाकी सब समस्त क्लोराइड, ब्रोमाइड, आयोडाइड सॉल्युबल. एटा एटा वेरी इंपोर्टेंट. 5, ऑल सल्फेट सॉल्ट्स, सल्फेट नॉट सल्फाइट और कार्बोनेट, केवल सल्फेट सॉल्ट्स, एक्सेप्ट आर भी एक्सेप्शन अछि. यार एक्सेप्ट होची ग्रुप 2 रो स्ट्रोंटियम रु आरंभ हो, बेरियम, लेड, लेडटा ग्रुप 2 नुहे, ग्रुप 14 रे पडुची बा ग्रुप 4 आ ग्रुप कार्बन ग्रुप रे अछि. लेड एगुडाक पडुची. एठी मु टिके कैल्शियम 2 प्लस को उटे रखुची, कारण यार ए 0.001 रु 0.1 भितर पड़ जाउची, स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल को केतक मु किंतु आकु इनसॉल्युबल रखे, किंतु एक्चुअली तुम जब परीक्षा करिवो टिके नाकु कैल्शियम सल्फेट पानी रे पकेइबो, से पळेइबो टिके नाकु पळेइबो, ता माने तार सॉल्युबिलिटी 0.001 रु 0.1 भितर पडुची. सो इट इज स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल. ताकु तमे इनसॉल्युबल रखि परिबो किंबा सॉल्युबल रखि परिबो, तुम इच्छा. एटा ए घर माउसी नुह कि से घर माउसी नुह, स्ट्रिक्ट डेफिनेशन अनुसार पड़ुनी. लेस देन 0.001 नुहे कि मोर देन 0.1 नुहे, स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल. सम लिटरेचर रे कैल्शियम 2 प्लस पाइबनी, एक्सेप्शन रे एठी पाइबनी, ताकु सॉल्युबल मु जेमति ब्रैकेट पकेली. आउ के जनकर एठी थिबो ब्रैकेट नथिबो, थिबो दे आर सॉल्युबल, दे आर इनसॉल्युबल. एठी थिबो माने दे आर इनसॉल्युबल. स्टोनशियम सल्फेट जेमति इनसॉल्युबल, बेरियम सल्फेट जेमति इनसॉल्युबल, लेड सल्फेट जेमति इनसॉल्युबल, ता इनसॉल्युबल. तेणु मु ताकु ब्रैकेट रे लिखुची, इंडिकेटिंग इट्स स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल. बस एतिकी तमे मन रखिबो. बाकी इनसॉल्युबल बाकी तक सबु इनसॉल्युबल भितर इंटरेस्टिंग होची all fluoride salts except alkali metal except lithium ता भितर पुणी एक्सेप्शन अच्छी से कहते लिथियम कुनीटा तो डुबला पतला कुनीटा तार फ्लोराइड इनसल्युबल तो इनसल्युबल भितर ऑल फ्लोराइड सॉल्ट्स आर इनसल्युबल एक्सेप्ट अल्काली मेटल्स सोडियम पोटासियम रुबिडियम सीजियम तांकर फ्लोराइड सॉल्युबल ता भितर पुणी लिथियम फ्लोराइड इज इनसल्युबल अब ता संगे अमोनियम टा बाय वन गेट वन फ्री सब अल्काली मेटल संगे अमोनियम भी रोचे NH4 जार फ्लोराइड सॉल्युबल लिथियम फ्लोराइड सो कॉल्ड इनसॉल्युबल स्पेरिंगली सॉल्युबल आम कहवा परवर्ती काल में कि इंटरेस्टिंगली बेरिलियम फ्लोराइड बेलू सी सॉल्युबल लिथियम ग्रुप 1 रो सबुठु दुबला पतला बेरिलियम ग्रुप 2 रो सबुठु दुबला तार फ्लोराइड टा सॉल्युबल हम सब जानिबा रीजन टा कोन धीरे धीरे एबे हठात करी पसी गले आमे आउ हमर टार्गेट को रीच करि पारिबा नै सेमिति गोटे तुम आइडिया रख कार्बोनेट सल्फाइड सल्फेट नो फॉस्फेट एमानकर सॉल्ट इनसॉल्युबल कैटेगरी रे जाउची तुम गोटे माइंड रे रख केवल अल्काली मेटल एक्सेप्ट आर एक्सेप्शन माने सॉल्युबल तार एक्सेप्शन माने इनसॉल्युबल अल्काली मेटल एंड अमोनियम टा बाय वन गेट वन फ्री सेमिति गोटे माइंड रे रख जे ये हाइड्रोक्साइड्स आर ऑल इनसॉल्युबल पुणी एक्सेप्ट सही ये जहाँ सही अल्काली मेटल सोडियम पोटासियम एमोनियम लिथियम भी नुहे लिथियम एक्सेप्ट पुणी लिथियम एथिरे एठी एक्सेप्ट बेरिलियम मध्य आस जाउची बेरिलियम अल्कालाइन ग्रुप 2 रो बेरिलियम आस जाउची कैल्शियम टा को मु रखुची ब्रैकेट रे से एंती कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड टा स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल एंती सल्फेट हेतला हाइड्रोक्साइड मध्य स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल तेणु एठी रखुची माने सॉल्युबल ताको कहूची किंतु न रहिले भी भलो बेरिलियम हाइड्रोक्साइड इज सॉल्युबल कैटेगरी रहिबो नॉट कैल्शियम किंतु कार्बोनेट रे किछि रहिलानी केवल अल्काली मेटल बेरिलियम कार्बोनेट इज आल्सो इनसॉल्युबल बेरिलियम मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट इज इनसॉल्युबल सब किंतु हाइड्रोक्साइड रे बेरिलियम टा रखिली कैल्शियम टा को स्लाइटली सॉल्युबल रखिली बास एतिकी तुमे आइडिया रख से अनुसार तुमे सबू करि परिबो गोटे आयोनिक इक्वेशन कोन हम वर्तमान डेवलप करबा सेटा धर मु किछि सॉल्युबिलिटी रूल कहबिनी तुमको निजे डेवलप करिया को पड़िबो से बेरियम नाइट्रेट प्लस सोडियम सल्फेट कि पोटासियम सल्फेट गिव्स राइज टू एटा डबल डिस्प्लेसमेंट यार भी दीटा आयन थी तार भी दीटा आयन थी तबे तुम गैस कर नब एटा डबल डिस्प्लेसमेंट हम गैस फॉर्मेशन हेनी सो पोटासियम सांग हम नाइट्रेट रो बेरियम सांग हम सल्फेट रो हो कौन ना बेरियम सल्फेट मु जानिक लैंग्वेज रे लिखुची बट यू डेसिफर इट टू फॉर्मूला एंड पोटासियम नाइट्रेट करेक्ट फॉर्मूला लेख एवं कोटा एक् कोटा एस कोटा लेख यूजिंग द सॉल्युबिलिटी रूल तुमको राइट साइड रे बाहर करने पड़ो किए पानी रे इनसॉल्युबल कोटा प्रेसिपिटेट हिसाब रे ताकू मजारे कहे छेना चिड़ब छेना भाया बाहरी आसो सो यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट आई गिव यू 1 minute टाइम वी आर इंचिंग टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ आवर प्रोग्राम 10-15 minutes more we are not able to go to section 3 which I intended to do that never mind today is the first class first lecture so we had completed only 2 sections whoever will complete can raise his hand or her hand. What you do? You have to write the entire equation, putting ac mark, solid mark in the right side of each formula. And do not balance. Balance will be a बाएं हाथ का खेल. Balance आप मत करो. मैं कह रहा हूं आप मत करो balancing. So Ansulima, tell me, dictate to me, कौन लिखी भी?
Yes, sir. Sir, BaNO3 whole 2 aqueous plus K2SO4 aqueous,
Yes.
which gives rise to
Yes.
BaSO4 solid,
What?
which gives rise to BaSO4 solid.
Yes. Barium 2 plus sulfate 2 minus 2 cancels because it is empirical formula. Solid plus.
And KNO3 aqueous.
Very good. Don't balance it. आपको बताना पड़ेगा कैसे आपको पता चला बेरियम सल्फेट ये प्रेसिपिटेट होगा, ये इनसॉल्युबल होगा. कौन सा रूल हमने सॉल्युबिलिटी रूल में पढ़ा अभी अभी, जिसके तहत आप कह सकते हो बेरियम सल्फेट ही नॉट ही, उड़िया में ही, हिंदी में ही इनसॉल्युबल प्रेसिपिटेट होके निकल जाएगा, सॉल्यूशन फेज से निकल जाएगा. यस. मैं फिर अंशुलिमा को पूछना चाहता हूं, अंशु को पूछना चाहता हूं.
Sir, all sulfate salts are soluble except for barium, and that's why.
Fantastic. All
Yes.
sulfates, our mind has already captured all sulfates are soluble except a few, like strontium, barium, and lead. Some others are there, have not. In my file that I will send, you will find some more. But for the class discussion, I am taking the minimum, which are very important. That is why it is. And all potassium salts are soluble. All nitrate salts are soluble. In both the ways, you say it is AC. And these all nitrates are soluble. All potassium salts are soluble. All are AC accepting. Now our job is to split them into ions. What is really happening? Don't balance it. Balance we'll do after we find out the ionic equation. Now, those which are getting AC sign, they will be split into free ions. As I was saying, that this barium will give rise to Ba2 plus 2 NO3 minus. Now, we don't write the number because we are interested to know what are the ions which will remain and others which are spectators. Just like you and me watch the television for cricket match. India won the T20 World Cup. We watched. We are spectators. And those who are watching in the stadium, they are also spectators. So we have to isolate, segregate, and we will delete them. They are non-entities in the actual chemical game, cricket game. Actually, it is Abhishek Sharma who is the player. It is, I was remembering all the names. Tell me few names. Abhishek Sharma, and then who else joins with him in the beginning? That's Sanju Samson, and then Surya Pratap Yadav, and so on. So we have to find out who are Surya Pratap Yadav and other players, and who are like us, me and you. So let us segregate barium nitrate as barium ion and nitrate ion without giving how many, because we have not balanced. Plus potassium sulfate K plus, don't write 2K plus sulfate 2 minus. And then in the right side, you cannot do anything to the one which is insoluble. We have to just copy. Only you can split into ions those which get AC symbol, not those which will get S or G gas or L water liquid. यहाँ वाटर नहीं है कि कोई गैस नहीं है, तो ये नौबत नहीं आएगा यहाँ. लेकिन जो भी जहां भी आपको गैस आएगा उसको भी आप आयोनाइज कर नहीं सकते, और जिसमें लिक्विड ओनली लिक्विड इज वाटर। इसको वाटर को भी आप डिसोसिएट कर नहीं सकते, नामुमकिन है। तो यू split potassium nitrate ACK A plus and NO3 minus. So this equation is called total ionic equation. That means you have shown both spectators as well as players. Dhuamula, as we in Odia we call Dhuamula or Dhuamula, sabu ekati achante. But now see which are repeating. Both they are common in left side, that means reactant side, as well as product side. So the one potassium, potassium, you cancel them. Nitrate, nitrate, cancel them. So they have not played any role. It is the barium ion in the reactant side and sulfate ion in the reactant side which has really undergone a covalent bonding so that they are not dissociated. They form a separate phase, solid phase, and undergone precipitation. So this is ACK, this is ACK, this is S. So this is called the net ionic equation. NIE, shortly we write NIE or simply ionic equation. And this is the total TIE. We are interested to find IE, ionic equation for each, or net ionic equation for each aqueous reaction. Remember, if the reaction will take place in solid phase involving gas and solid liquid, so there is no ACK, no ions. I will give you such examples later. But now we are carrying out an aqueous reaction ultimately leading to gas formation, leading to precipitation, water formation, liquid which will remain as water. So this is, now you give me another one. So write down the formula. केते गुड़ा कथा मु देई देछि HCl hydrochloric acid, that is ACK. All acids are soluble ACK सेटा हबो. एठी खाली मु कहि दोछि एटा insoluble rule रे भी देई नथली, एटा solid. मैंगनीज 4 ऑक्साइड मु देई दोछि, सबुडा तो तुमको तमे solubility rule रे पाइबनी, तुम गेस करियो पड़िबो. The manganese 4 oxide तक मु कहि दोछि, it is a very dark black color solid, not soluble in water. S. अन्य गुड़ा कतन पाई जीवो, all chlorides are soluble, exception भितरे manganese नहीं, manganese रो किछि नहीं, lead, mercurous and silver ए तीनटा तो पई अछि वर्तमान, आउ किछि नहीं. Write down and raise your hands. Well, since I have Arman and others, those who are uranium guys, many of things you knew, and I'm sure it will be a good revision for you because you have eaten it after frying, made a good fry and eaten it. कौन तार ओडिया कहलो? प्रभु तार ओडिया कौन?
Right.
These things are not new to you, you know it, but you have all eaten them after good frying. Frying and eating. कौन ओडिया हबो? किए कहि परिबो? शिवदत्त? अरे ओडिया किए कहि परिबो? Frying and eating. You
Sir,
have
podi.
eaten. Huh?
Sir,
सर
podi ki
ପୋଡିବା ଆଉ ଖାଇବା
पोड़ी किरी खाई सारलणी. I'm dead sure that most of you have eaten after good frying. Fry ତେଲରେ ତାକୁ ନା ପୋଡ଼ିବ କେମିତି ନା ସରି ଖାଲି ଫାୟାରରେ ପୋଡ଼ିଛ ବାଇଗଣ ପୋଡ଼ା. Fired in sorry fried in fire, not oil, and eaten. Yes, ଶିବଦତ୍ତର ସରିଲାଣି, ଆଉ କାହାର ସରିଲାଣି? अनिशा कौन कथा मो तुम लिखुन अनिशा तुम शोई पड़ल तुम तुम कौन जॉइन कलनी आई एम मिसिंग यू इन जूम काल ठार जूम रे जॉइन कर यस प्रभु कहल हाथ टेकिଛନ୍ତି शिवदत्त अंशुलिमा एंड प्रभु प्रभु कहल
MnO2
यस सॉलिड
plus HCl aqueous
यस
gives us to MnCl2.
एक नहीं
Yes, sir.
प्लस
Plus chlorine Cl2 gas.
chlorine is a diatomic gas Cl2G and water L एटा हला तापरे नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन करो सॉरी टोटल आयनिक इक्वेशन करो भांग भांग जोड़ा आक लेखा हला केवल ताको भांगिबो जोड़ा सॉलिड लिक्विड गैस ताको हाथ मारी परिबनी खाली कॉपी करिवो जस्ट कॉपी डाउन डोंट टच इट डोंट ब्रेक देम इनटू आयंस ओनली आक भांगिबो Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be going over 2 hours a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes. Please bear with me. And it often happens. The uranium guys, they know. They know. I remember Sivdat. No, not Sivdat. You were not there. It is your senior batch. Bisma Tripathi's batch. I think you might be there at that. Yes, you were there. You were there. In your school when we had a program. So you guys, many of you guys didn't go. While the time bell rang and many parents came, complained, they took away their children. I granted and the Pradhana Acharya, Acharyas, I asked them, those who are not interested, those who are interested to go home can go. Many of you, they have declined to their parents that I won't go. Their parents were bound to compel to wait outside. And we remained for such a long time that I think in history, if you find such a thing has a rare reputation. Because it was a synergy, mutual synergy that came from both some of you who were sitting continuously and me, the instructor. That synergy, that exchange of energy, resonance, that has the profound effect. We are in a different world. We were in a different world. Time is not a constant for us. आम करें कौन कि पिला विदा करदे जो मैंने डिस्ग्रंटल जो मान मुंड धरी पार एत समय से पलैले दैट इज व्हाई वी कुड यस शिवदत्त प्रभु सरला नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन आग कहल देखिए शिवदत्त फुल इक्वेशन टा कह
सर MnO2
हाँ ताकू किसी धरी करि हाँ सॉलिड
प्लस H प्लस Cl minus gives rise to Mn2 plus 2 Cl minus
2 फू को
plus
मारो गोली 2 फू को मारो गोली खाली Cl माइनस को हाँ
plus 2H2 plus Cl2
Cl2 प्लस ताकू भी किछ करि परिबनी आकू भी किछ करि परिबनी केवल ए
ना
गोटा एक अछि ताकू भांगिले आउ एटा लिखले आ मो एल जी लेखुनी एठी किए कहि परिबो नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन कोन हबो व्हिच आर द प्लेयर्स तांको बिना केमिकल गेम संभव नुहे हु केवल शिवदत्त हाथ टेकिछि नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन कोन हबो सार्थक को
Sir, MnO2 plus H plus gives us Mn2 plus Cl2 plus H2O.
कहीं ना से कौन से तार लॉजिक अप्लाई कला जे कॉमन देखिला कोठी ना क्लोराइड कॉमन देखिला काटदेला आउ किछि कटिलानी आउ किछि कटिलानी MnO2 रही गला H प्लस रही गला बाँ पटे डाण पटे Mn2 प्लस Cl2 H2O सो एया हबो शिवदत्त एया ना किछि अलगा हबो
सीए सर
आउ किए कहबो जे एया हबोनी आउ किछि अलगा हबो कहा माइंड रे आसुची फील फ्री। मैंने तो ये लांग दिया, मैं जो इसको बोलते हैं हद, हद को मैंने लांग दिया। द लिमिटेशन वाज वी हैव टू रेस्ट्रिक्ट आवर mode of instruction to Hindi or English, but often I'm using now Odia because my purpose is to access you. You guys are hail from Odisha. The most powerful impact will come when some exchange will take place in mother tongue. ସାର୍ଥକ ପୁଣି କ'ଣ ହାତ ଟେକିଛ, କ'ଣ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବ କି?
नो सर, ତଳକୁ କରିଦଉଛି।
ଏଇଠି ଗୋଟେ ଭୁଲ ହେଲା ଅଂଶୁ। କ'ଣ ତମେ ହଠାତ୍ ଏଟା କରିଦେଲ, ଠିକ ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କହିଥିଲି କହିଦେଲ, କିନ୍ତୁ ତମ ମାଇଣ୍ଡକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଖଟକା ଆସିବ, माइंड को एक झटका, हिंदी में झटका आएगा। अच्छा, हाउ कम क्लोरीन हैज कम? आयनिक इक्वेशन हो या मॉलिक्यूलर इक्वेशन हो, बाएं तरफ जो एलिमेंट रहेगा, दाहिने दाहिने तरफ वही एलिमेंट रहेगा। और इसको बैलेंसिंग भी हम कर पाएंगे, अभी करेंगे। तो क्लोरीन राइट हैंड साइड में है लेकिन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में नहीं है, ये कैसे मुमकिन होगा? ये क्या टपकेगा धरती से या ऊपर से? हेवन से या हेल से? कहां से टपकेगा? उसका मदर है क्लोराइड आयन। सो जिसको आपने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में काट दिए थे, इसको फिर एक बार लिखिए, लेकिन राइट हैंड साइड में नहीं लिखिए। इसका लॉजिक क्या है? हमने इसको बैलेंस नहीं किए हैं। अगर हम बैलेंस करते तो आपको मिल जाता यहां सपोजिंग 4Cl माइनस, यहां 2Cl माइनस एंड 1 क्लोरीन molecule. So total number of chlorine atoms will be 4 and 4. So out of this 2 chloride ions will go and out of 4 2 chloride ions will go. The remaining chloride ion का real chemical change होगा, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन वोमिट करके न्यूट्रल क्लोरीन बन जाएंगे। तो इसीलिए आपको थोड़ा इंटेलिजेंस अप्लाई करके राइट हैंड साइड लेफ्ट हैंड साइड को देख के आपको झटका जब लगेगा कहां से क्लोरीन आया, immediately you restore the one which you have deleted as thinking that all chloride ions are spectators. No, some of them are real players which have undergone chemical change to form chlorine gas, and rest are really cancelled. Therefore we cancelled from right side but retained the remaining chloride ions which are real players like Abhishek Sharma in the reactant side. Raise your hands who have understood. Very good. Okay. So in some cases you have to judiciously do that. I have given you, so I am showing you before I close, I am showing you the second file. See how I have given solubility rules. Solubility rule, everything is there. Some exception in sulfate में हमने सिर्फ स्ट्रॉन्टियम, लेड, बेरियम को आता, मर्क्यूरस, मर्क्यूरिक, सिल्वर भी आएगा। क्लोराइड, ब्रोमाइड, आयोडाइड में मर्क्यूरस, लेड, मर्क्यूरस, सिल्वर हमने पढ़ा था, लेकिन क्यूप्रस एंड थैलियम आएगा। इसका इतना मौजूद नहीं है अभी। सो ये सॉल्युबल, इसको इनसॉल्युबल हम अभी कहेंगे, सॉल्युबल इनसॉल्युबल अभी कहेंगे, लेकिन असल से ये स्पेरिंगली सॉल्युबल। बाद में हमको ये टर्म विल नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल, इसको हम बोलेंगे स्पेरिंगली सॉल्युबल। एंड insoluble rule हमने दे दिए हैं, we'll just read, we have already done. Ionic equation we have done. So in say in neutralization reaction between an acid and a base which are all soluble, the negative ion of acid and the negative ion of the salt will cancel. The positive ion of the base and the positive ion of the salt will cancel. So ultimately, in all such soluble acid-base reaction, the ultimate ionic equation is H plus from acid, OH minus from base will give you water. You will find. We will be practicing, don't worry. But this is for soluble acids and bases. We take some organic acids which are insoluble and all that. Some something which is some bases which are insoluble. Say magnesium oxide is insoluble. You will find in the insoluble table, magnesium oxide is coming under insoluble. So it will be written as S, but there will be reaction. So such net ionic equation will not come. Magnesium oxide will remain, but H plus will be there because the negative ion, so chloride ion will cancel out, but MgO will be there, plus H plus will be there. Here Mg2 plus will be there, and water will be there. So, and some practice questions which we have done, you don't look to the answers, to the solution. You pick up this one in your copy and do of your own and tally. Same, this we have already done. And this you do once again without looking to the solution, and then check with the solution. And this one also do the same thing without looking. And these are the, indicate which is soluble and insoluble from the solubility rule. And these are, you have to find out the net ionic equation. And this has also an answer file. You ask me if you have finished, then I will send you the answer file. And one interesting thing I forgot to tell you, that even after some time, we will balance every equation, just like we know how to balance simple molecular equation using heat and trial inspection method. Similarly, you can also balance an ionic equation. Before submitting to your examiner, you have to see charge wise, element wise, atom wise, all are balanced. So we shall learn some advanced techniques to balance complicated reactions. Simple reactions, equations can be balanced by heat and trial, but not all. So here chlorine is 2, here is 1, so you have to multiply by 2 here. Hydrogen 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. So make sure, no. First our heat element should be oxygen. Oxygen is 2 here, oxygen is 1 here. So the heat element is to make oxygen equal, so multiply by 2. So now hydrogen has become 4. So here it will be 4H plus. So this is a small equation. You can do it by heat and trial method. And also check whether charge wise it is balanced or not. This is a neutral, no charge, but 4H plus ion plus 4, 2 chloride ion minus 2, the net charge is plus 2. And here this is the only charge species is plus 2. So the charge is also conserved. This is neutral, this is neutral. So we shall study. You finish these 2 sections. So study how to balance ionic equation, the advanced techniques tomorrow, and then oxidation number concept and how to apply them. The cases where you fail, such cases will analyze. This is the 3rd one which I had in my program, but I didn't. Paradoxical cases, we'll see. Oxidation number, which is a very, very important tool to study chemistry. This scientists have devised such a wonderful tool, a bookkeeping tool. Though it is hypothetical, but such a wonderful applied, application-oriented tool that you can monitor. ये कहाँ से कहाँ तक गया, या इसका हाल क्या हुआ, ऑक्सीडेशन हुआ या रिडक्शन हुआ, इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन किया या इलेक्ट्रॉन लॉस किया. So oxidation reduction reactions and non-redox reactions, all this we'll be doing tomorrow, and then switch on to mole concept, how to apply them in solving stoichiometry. Bye bye. And if you have enjoyed the class, don't hesitate to give a comment. You are remaining silent because many of you knew that your instructor becomes happy if you write something, but you didn't pay much attention to that. So remember, anywhere you learn, you just not only thank, that is common thing that we elders, parents to teach the youngers or the words or children, and not only to thank, but also to comment, yes, I enjoyed it. Or if you have not enjoyed, then don't write anything. It's better to remain diplomatically silent and not to displease. But if you are really ecstatic and become happy, write a few words. It will give a lot of confidence and the enthusiasm to work more for you and others. And also, if you are revising through YouTube video, once again visiting the YouTube site SST Chemistry, and I have given you the link. then there in the YouTube site, if you have not subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe, because many short videos with a specific topic are coming off and on. And sometimes you are studying, you are not studying with me, you are studying in different place, but some doubt arises in your mind. You want that I should make a short video on that. You tell me, you just request me or write to me in your WhatsApp individual message, I want a short video on this topic, I am not clear. I will make it and send you. There is no need of sitting. So, and also there you comment. Bye bye. See you tomorrow morning, same time. And you share this. I will be making the schedule for tomorrow's program in the afternoon, and I will give you the links, and you share to as many of your friends as possible to benefit out of this program. Bye bye. First time signing out from YouTube. Bye bye. If you have YouTube guys, if you have enjoyed, put a thumbs up, like, and if you feel like, you can subscribe. Bye bye.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, pranam.
Sir, pranam.
Pranam.
Pranam, sir.